exposing me.
So here's the deal. My job is to play video games and then discuss them with you. The general idea is I'll tell you what I think of them. I'll break down what the games do well, what they don't do well, and you viewers continue the discussion with those enriching, wise, and thoughtful comments of yours. So we all do our part to make this engine work, but ultimately, it starts with the game. There's not a whole lot I can do to rev up the process if the game isn't even going to try. And I can tell you, I played a lot of games over the years. I've played incredible ones, terrible ones, vomit-inducing ones, but I don't think I have ever played a game as wholly and utterly forgettable as this one.
Hey, Grandma, you call that driving?
I don't want to say Driver Renegade is a bad game, because it really isn't. The game is functional, it plays well, there's enough done well here to avoid my berating this game as soul-crushingly awful. But at the same time, it doesn't do a single thing to stand out. It's so shockingly vanilla that I honestly can't even comprehend how a game so completely void of personality even made it past the conceptual stage.
End of the line, you son of a bitch.
I wish I could offer an example of something that would back up that comment, but I honestly can't even remember any. You play Driver Renegade as John Tanner, an ex-cop played by an actor who evidently graduated with top honors from the Barry Burton School of Voice Acting. But you know, at least that's something, right? The most fun I had with Driver Renegade was listening to the dialogue and laughing at how ridiculously over the top it is.
Any idea who they are?
Paid mercenaries, sent by the crime lords.
Unfortunately, that's the closest this game comes to actual character. Tanner is a walking, talking cliché, which is actually fitting considering the gameplay. Missions usually involve smashing up other cars or racing to checkpoints while smashing up other cars. That's about the entirety of what Driver Renegade has to offer in terms of objectives. But fortunately, you carry out those objectives with some pretty solid driving mechanics. The vehicles actually handle pretty well, each varying depending on their individual stats and attributes. You can also build up your rage bar at the bottom of the screen by smashing into objects and jumping your car and drifting, and you can use that rage bar for speed boosts. And again, the driving is fine. You use the 3DS's circle pad to steer, and I gotta tell you, that's a little hardware feature I'm really starting to like. It feels really good to drive vehicles with a circle pad. Much better than I expected prior to the system's release. And so at the very least, Driver Renegade plays well. It's just that being functional and being fun are two very different things. Much more different than just a 7-letter spelling discrepancy. And that's the thing, I didn't do a single thing in this game, whether in story or career mode, that I would call fun. And that's due largely to its uneventful missions, of course, but its content and production values are also to blame. There's no multiplayer whatsoever, whether online or off, and from both a technical and artistic perspective, the graphics are really mediocre. Now the good news is the game does support Street Pass, which automatically trades scores, stats, records, things like that with 3DS owners who walk by, but I wouldn't bet on walking by anyone who owns Driver Renegade. And a few who do buy this game will probably forget they have it.
Now we're in business.